What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G. S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the October 21st, 2023 edition of the SmackDown LowDown. Matt Camp, Megan Moran in the studio, breaking down a pretty good edition of SmackDown from Friday night. They open up the episode announcing the new matches made official for Crown Jewel coming up in 2 weeks. Roman Reigns, LA Knight, undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul for the United States Championship on that same show. They then replay the opening segment with Heyman, with Knight. No Roman Reigns on the show, typical. Roman Reigns will be on the show next week with that contract signing with LA Knight, heading into Crown Jewel. We hear from LA Knight backstage with Caleb Braxton, and LA Knight says that he was looking for Roman Reigns coming into the show tonight after getting jumped at the end of SmackDown last week. And he says, come that contract signing next week on SmackDown, Roman will be signing his life and title away. And he promises that the game belongs to him, LA Knight. So, pretty typical LA Knight promo here, but some good stuff heading into the championship match at Crown Jewel, which I'm looking forward to. Back in the studio, they preview Roman versus Knight. Matt Camp mentions all the people that LA Knight has beaten so far this year and how he kind of has momentum on his side heading into that matchup, but he also has a lot to lose in going up against Roman Reigns. And that's kind of my main concern with the matchup. If and when LA Knight loses that match against Roman Reigns, where does he go from there? That's kind of like the pinnacle of this push. He probably will win championship gold at some point in the not-too-distant future. It just will not be that championship, and it will not be right now. So where do they go with him from there is kind of my question. They replay and recap the John Cena Solo Sikoa segment with Cena saying it's been 2,002 days, the same year he debuted, from Friday, since he last won a singles match televised in WWE. And that would have been against Triple H back at the Greatest Royal Rumble, their first ever Saudi event, back in April of 2018. And probably setting up Cena and Solo, I would hope, for the Crown Jewel show, one-on-one. Cena and Jay versus Jimmy and Solo. I mean, we just kind of saw that at Fastlane with John Cena. Another fucking tag match? Like, who cares? They also replay the Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce segment backstage, which I don't think was a coincidence. They're definitely setting up some sort of like brand supremacy or a War Games match or both. I hope it's not brand supremacy. I'm all for dueling GMs. I feel like that's great. But they just brought in Nick Aldis as the new SmackDown GM. There's really not a lot of bad blood between the two GMs, aside from what we saw on this show. Let's not rush into anything and, make it a brand supremacy show at Survivor Series. That's just way too soon for that. Anyway, Matt Camp says that Nick Aldis, for the first time in his career, has all this power on the biggest stage that he's ever been on. And this is not going to be a friendly rivalry going forward between himself and Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis will use all of his new power going forward as the new SmackDown GM. So maybe the hint of Nick Aldis as a heel GM on SmackDown. Again, too soon probably to get into that. At some point, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Nick Aldis is a great heel. They replay the Logan Paul Rey Mysterio face-off with the match being made official, as I mentioned earlier, for the United States Championship at Crown Jewel between these two. We hear from LWO backstage, and Rey says that Logan Paul reminds him of Dominic, his son, and how he kind of acts out of line, acts arrogant, blah, blah, blah. Santos says that they need to settle this next week with the Street Profits. They're going to be taking on the Profits, him and Rey in tag team action. Carlito says that the LWO is familiar, and they will take out Bobby Lashley's group and settle this score once and for all. They're clearly still building the Carlito and Bobby at some point, straight out of SmackDown 2007. But I'm looking forward to that match when we get it at some point, hopefully. They preview Logan versus Paul for the U.S. Championship at Crown Jewel. Matt Camp recounts Paul's past performances against Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, beating Ricochet at SummerSlam, beating Miz last year at SummerSlam, all the great, outings he's had so far in WWE. And now we should not be underestimated come this contest with Rey Mysterio for the championship. They also preview the aforementioned tag team match for next week, Rey and Escobar against the Profits in tag team action. And now Rey, even though he's, kind of has his hands full right now with Logan Paul, should not take his eyes off the Profits either. They replay the Kevin Owens interview with Kathy Kelly from SmackDown, kind of setting the stage for what SmackDown's going to look like for him on Friday nights, what the SmackDown run will entail exactly. They also recap the Austin Theory, Grayson Waller tag team win over Cameron Grimes and Dragon Lee. We hear from Theory and Waller here. A-Town Down Under is their new team name. Not officially, that's what they just call themselves. Theory starts off the interview playing his own theme music on a portable speaker, which I thought was funny. Waller mentions that Cody and Jay, they beat them last week to retain the tag team titles, but at the same time, Cody and Jay, they went on to lose the tag titles days later on Raw, so how much does that loss even really mean? And then Theory says that they are the future, and that was it. And they play his music again on the speaker that he brought out, so that was entertaining. They recapped the main event with the Io Sky successfully retaining the WWE Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair, bringing back Bianca Belair into the fold, back into the mix here, saving Charlotte from damage control. Matt Kim says that Sky should worry about Belair being back, and she's probably next on her list of opponents to defend that championship against. And he also mentions the numbers game with damage control and Judgment Day and Bloodline. Now Charlotte needs backup, and she's got Bianca back. Belair is back and is backup to help out Charlotte, is what I meant to say. Pretty decent edition here of the SmackDown LowDown, setting the stage for SmackDown next week, recapping last night's events. Decent interviews. Can't ask for much more than that. Thank you guys for checking in my review of the show. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Have an awesome one. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.